Inkatha Freedom Party members are facing allegations of sexual harassment, misconduct, and more recently, allegations that a councillor in Northern KZN raped a child multiple times. That official has since resigned from his position as investigations continue. We're joined now by IFP President Velenkosini Hlabisa. Mr. Hlabisa, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. Certainly, these allegations against members of the IFP should make the party hang its head in shame.
Good evening, Kathy and the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Indeed, Kathy, there is no political party or any organization that cannot begin to be worried if such allegations occur one after the other. But we accept that this is a reflection of the society in which we live, where women are a subject of harassment and abuse. But what we are grateful of as the IFP is that whenever there is sufficient evidence to take an action, we do not hesitate. We have demonstrated in the past, and even a few weeks ago, as you refer, one of our councillors who was arrested for having repeatedly raped a minor. We swiftly requested him to resign as a member, and if he refused, we were going to expel him with immediate effect, and he has resigned, is no longer our representative, and we want to allow the cause of the law to take its course, and we do not see him coming back as our public representative. For the record he has, and he is one amongst many that we have taken steps against.
But why the need to wait for him to resign? Why did you not just expel him? Because the grounds really are sufficient, and it would be a way of the IFP sending a very strong message in relation to the allegations he's facing.
Kathy, there are laws. The resignation, he was arrested in the morning, and we found a way for him to sign the resignation letter on the same day. Because to expel a person, you must convene a committee, you must make a person appear before the committee to hear his or her side of the story. So now we firstly offered a shortcut of resignation, and if he refused, we were going to begin the process of convening the committee and dismiss him. He is no longer our representative. We are very grateful of that one, that he showed remorse and cooperated, because he knows there is sufficient evidence of the case he is arrested of. The previous cases, we went through a process to ensure that we remove those people from positions. There is still one case, Kathy, which we are still battling with it in terms of the law processes, because when you override the law, our country is regulated by law. A person takes you to court, and you have to go steady to follow the law. But we are determined.
What is that case? What is that case that you're still struggling with?
There is a case still at Alfred Duma municipality, a case where there was a voice note that made rounds in the social media. We had taken a position. A new information transpired which legally bind us to follow a process, and we are still following that process.
What is that case in relation to? Is this a councillor of yours, and what is this councillor accused of?
No, Kathy, it's a councillor who is accused of selling jobs through demanding sex from females. People know about it because it was in the social media. We took a decision to dismiss the councillor, and a new information transpired which compelled us to follow a due process. We are still dealing with the matter. I must be open again, Kathy. unlike maybe other political parties who are not open about these matters, we do have a case again at KwaDukuza, which went to the court of law for a councillor involved with a minor. We are still dealing with the case because we understand there is a judgment that was made by the court, but we are still wanting to pursue it further, irrespective of the exoneration that was done by the court, because courts work in terms of the law. But as a political party, we believe we can also follow up the matter if we feel there is evidence to prosecute a councillor using the internal processes of the political party.
Mr. Hlabisa, it's interesting that you talk about transparency because, in fact, that's one of the criticisms that you've received, particularly from the ANC in that region, that says there is a culture within the IFP of sweeping some of these matters under the carpet. And in fact, it referenced exactly that issue of the Sex for Jobs scandal that you've just spoken to us about. And I mean, it's increasingly concerning that you have this number of officials that are serving in your organization that are also linked to these very serious crimes against women.
Kathy, well, I understand the ANC as our competitor and wanting to use the crisis we have as a country for political reasons. But what I think people of South Africa should note about the IFP, we have been open. Kathy, I'm sure you know about one case which happened at Abakulusi. We were swift to remove the mayor in that municipality. He is no longer a mayor. Maybe other political parties are not doing so. And secondly, our councillor at Alfred Duma, where there was a clear evidence, we swiftly asked him, you step down or we dismiss you, and he stepped down. We never swept it under the carpet. The other one, I'm saying, when you have to follow due process in terms of the law, you are compelled to do so. We have 2 cases which we are still dealing with. We haven't swept them under the carpet. And finally, we will conclude them because we are convinced, following the due process, we will manage to deal with them accordingly.
Mr. Hlabisa, what is the organization's strategy? Because you clearly by now should have started working on one. When it comes to the men that are in your organization, and particularly addressing this issue of violence, because yet again, incredibly concerning that this behavior, including the predatory behavior that is linked to some of these cases, is as a result of, it's at the hands rather, of men that are leaders in your organization. How are you going to deal with it?
Before coming to that one, Kathy, I want to commend women who are brave enough to come forward. You know, yesterday I received a letter, one woman who is verbally abused by one of our leaders in a municipality. I have taken up that matter. I commended that woman of standing up and not become anonymous, because we have to deal with this illness in our society as the IFP. Since 2019, we began a program of honoring the mandate that was given to us by Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi when he handed over the baton. He gave a specific mandate: protect women and children. All our councillors were given a specific program to deal with the issue of gender-based violence, to ensure that women who come forward are given support and protected and supported to ensure that the matter that they have raised is taken to its conclusion. The wing of the women, we also urged the Women's Brigade to be the champions of programs of ensuring that our women are capacitated to be brave enough if they experience these challenges. But as men, we are not taking a sit back and say, this is a problem of women. We are part and parcel of all gender-based gender-based violence program that are taking place in our society. Could it be organized by stakeholders or municipalities or even the government of the day? We said, do not label the programs done by the government as belonging to a political party. It is a government of the day. Mobilize the community. This is the illness.
But it sounds to me, Mr. Hlabisa, that, you know, while it's good to be part of projects that are part of society and directed to different communities by government, it sounds to me that you need a lot more plans within your own organization around this issue.
Definitely, Kathy, as I referred to, the IFP Women's Brigade is a women's wing. They have a number of programs.
It cannot be left, Mr. Hlabisa, to the women's branch of the IFP. It should be something that is part of your structures as the party more holistically. Because when you say that it's the woman's job to then run with these programs and take the lead, then often it means that the conversation will run the risk of being reduced to just the women of the IFP. I'm saying to you that these are programs that your organization needs holistically, not the women's branch of the organization, but that deals with the organization holistically.
I'm sure, Kathy, you heard me previously, before this round of response, that I said, as men, we took a decision that we will not be sitting and leaving this as a responsibility of women, because the perpetrators of women abuse are men. Therefore, the male component in the IFP, right from the municipalities at the government level to our structures, we said, you must be part and parcel of programs. You must have your driven programs of encouraging, supporting and protecting women who are brave enough to come forward. I'm happy that now we see some of men being arrested because women are starting to come forward. On the 18th of September, Kathy, we are having a meeting with all our mayors, because at most, people use their positions to abuse women. We want to ensure that they give us tangible programs from their offices as the face of the government in ensuring the protection of women, the support of women, the capacitation of women to stand up for their rights. And we want also to read the Rioters Act to them, that whoever transgress, we are not going to hesitate to take a decision, because we want to fight the gender-based violence as the illness in our community.
IFP President Velenkosini Hlabisa there on that particular issue on sexual violence, especially at the hands of leaders of the IFP.
A disturbing story.